have Metro Parks with you.
Mental Health and Recovery Services Board meeting for June the 18th. Hereby call to order, and we'll begin with our roll call.
Reverend Gordon,
Present?
Mr. Arnold,
Here?
Ms. Banks, Ms. Bell, Mr. Brown,
Present.
Ms. Carter, Ms. Clark,
Here.
Ms. Friedman,
Here.
Reverend Gordon, Ms. Harding,
Here.
Ms. Howe,
Here.
Ms. Mendoza-Locke,
Here.
Mr. Knowles, Mr. O'Connor, Ms. Rodriguez,
Here.
Mr. Stengel,
Here.
Major White,
Here.
Ms. White.
All right, thank you. We'll have a recognition of visitors.
Richard Arnold, Stefani Galloway, board staff.
Meyer, board staff.
Shannon Hedge, board staff.
Elijah Jones, board staff.
Bill Snyder, Arrowhead Behavioral Health.
Paul Lewis, Recovery Council, St. Paul Community Center Board of Trustees.
Julie Rook, board staff.
All right, thank you very much. Now we have the determination of items to be removed from the consent agenda, and I will read them. The meeting minutes from May the 21st. Treasurer's report for April, fiscal year 2024. Civil commitment designation of pre-screeners and attorneys. Ohio Moss Bipartisan Safer Community Project. The City of Toledo ARPA funds. The community wellness grants, the Latinx navigation, prevention, and treatment services, the domestic violence treatment, mental wellness rapid response, the trauma and grief support capacity building, health officers designation, Ohio Moss problem gambling funds, the ITP Phase 2 prime vendor contract extension, the Ohio Moss Community Transition Program, the Ohio Moss Crisis Flex Funds, countywide suicide prevention campaign, and HIPAA notice of privacy practices mailer in the 333 North Summit Street reimbursement agreement amendment. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can we please remove 6H from the consent agenda?
6H from the community, Ohio Moss Community Transition Program to be
Correct.
removed from the consent agenda.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll amend my motion to include that.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Arnold,
Yes?
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Friedman,
Yes.
Reverend Gordon,
Yes.
Ms. Harding,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Ms. Mendoza-Locke,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Major White.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Arnold, your reason for the removal was,
We could vote on it separately because I need to abstain.
okay, can we just do that now
Yes.
without reading the whole thing, that is?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please?
Mr. Arnold,
Abstain?
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Friedman,
Yes.
Ms. Harding,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Ms. Mendoza-Locke,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Major White.
Yes.
All right, passes. Thank you so much. All right, now we will move to the GOSH contract extension. Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone. On page 23 of your packets is a proposed motion for your consideration. This proposed motion's recommendation is intended to allow for the successful transition to the board-operated electronic data interchange platform, SmartCare, which is a key part of Phase 2 of the board's infrastructure transformation project, or ITP. The cost of the aforementioned contract extension is $6,038. These funds can be taken from the ITP designated fund balance of $37,234.66. There is a motion to this effect in the middle of the page on 23.
All right, thank you.
Bottom of the page.
Oh, sorry, bottom of page 20.
Moved. Second? Any, is there questions? No questions for Steve? All right, can we vote? Roll call vote.
Mr. Arnold,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Friedman,
Yes.
Ms. Harding,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Ms. Mendoza Locke,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Major White.
Yes.
All right, motion approved, thank you so much. So, we would not have,
Can we correct that?
did you vote, did you move? Did you second?
Yeah, she.
Not the most recent one, on 6H, that was removed from the
Oh,
consent agenda.
Yeah, I second.
Jim, he seconded.
Yes,
Jim
he
did
amended
first.
it.
He seconded.
That was for the consent agenda.
No,
And then the
6H.
removal, the 6H.
Yeah, 6H specifically needs a separate motion.
All right, I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay.
Can we revote on that then as well?
We can. Thank you.
Mr. Arnold,
Abstain.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Friedman,
Yes.
Ms. Harding,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Ms. Mendoza Locke,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Stengel,
Yes.
Major White.
Yes.
All right, approved, thank you. Okay, now, we want to have our open session. There will not be a director's report. We ask that you keep Scott's family in your thoughts and prayers as they go through moments of bereavement that happen to all of us, our families sooner or later, so please remember them. At this time, Richard?
There's quite a bit going on at One Government Center. Just briefly, levy review. A lot going on at Government Center. Just briefly, levy review committee met. Here's what they had to look at. They compared it to Reading Gone with the Wind. Children's Services Board needs money. They are asking that their 1.8 mil levy be taken to a 3.3 mil. They say they'll be running out of money next year. They spoke the longest. Area Office on Aging is asking that their 0.75 be taken to a 1 mil. And the Public Library is asking for passage of a 30-year, 1 mil bond issue, which I believe will bring in something like $150 million, badly needed for all of their renovations and upgrades. Usually, Citizens Levy Review Committee does meet more than once, but they didn't this time. They asked a bunch of questions, got the answers they needed, so they adjourned. Now Tom Susor has to give a presentation to the county commissioners. They have to accept his presentation, then send it to the auditor to verify the dollar amount, then have it come back to them, and then vote to get it on the November ballot. The deadline is sometime in August, I'm not sure. But everything is progressing, and given that in March this board did receive an increase, you can expect that to be mentioned several times in the upcoming county commissioners race. I mentioned that the city council has declared war on tobacco shops. There are two of them that are coming. One is at 4103 Monroe. That had no opposition. That was heard by the Plan Commission and will be heard next month by City Council. There is another at 135 South Byrne. That is very close to the autism school, and they're going to need a waiver. So they asked for a 2-month deferral on that one. They will be heard at the August Plan Commission, and if all goes well, at the September City Council meeting. I also mentioned the donut shop. I think it's called Cosmic Investments, and they're in Middlebury, Ohio. They want to put a donut shop on Holland, Sylvania, near the Kroger. They will need a zone change. The staff is recommending against it, not because of any angry neighbors, but because of the draft forward Toledo plan, whatever that is, it would be not in compliance. So they asked for a month's deferment. They did not give a reason. If the Plan Commission agrees with the staff and opposes this, that'll be a first. I don't think they've ever opposed a donut shop before. It's one of the reasons people say that Toledo is anti-business. This is important. Gregory Forjak, local psychiatrist or psychologist that's been here for years and did the pre-employment evaluations for Toledo Police Department, he's retiring. They only received one application to take his place. It is a national organization. It's located somewhere in Washington State, National Testing Group, something like that. But they do employ people here in Ohio. This is exactly the sort of thing that City Council should refer to the Safety Committee and have a public discussion. But I can't remember the last Safety Committee that didn't turn ugly. People show up and they yell and they scream. But it's the sort of thing that should go to a committee for public input, even if the public doesn't always behave themselves. But they did not refer it to committee. They did not go first reading. So as we speak, they are voting on it at tonight's meeting. But the police evaluations, at a very critical time, will no longer be done locally. They'll be done by an organization. And the only thing I know is that their questionnaire is 280 questions long. I have no idea what the questions are, but it's very important that we get good police officers, and they will have significant dealings with people who have mental illness and substance abuse. Briefly, I'm concerned about the latest shooting in Michigan. They're going after the parents. Now, the father is deceased, but this man lived with his mother. She has hired an attorney, and she's not talking to anybody, but the neighbors are saying, yeah, everybody knew this guy was mentally ill, government conspiracies, all that stuff, but they didn't know how severe until he got in the car, drove 1.5 miles, and shot 9 people at a splash pad in Rochester, Michigan. And so now the finger pointing starts. And remember, this is just down the road from Oxford High School, where 3 years ago you had a bunch of students shot, 4 of them killed. Those parents are in prison. That bothers me a lot, going after the parents. We're seeing it all over the country. We saw it here in Toledo when Officer Brandon Stalker was shot. Yeah, they went after the family and said, why didn't you get help? And they said, we tried. He refused. There is nothing you can do until the court intervenes. So I dug these out of my files. This is from the Wall Street Journal. It is dated February the 19th, 2020. The importance of that date is it's 1 month before the pandemic lockdown. It's called Trump Takes a Stand for the Mentally Ill. What it is, before the pandemic, he was proposing getting rid of the IMD exclusion. That is the government rule that says we will not give government monies to state psychiatric hospitals or any place that has more than 16 beds. And he did have some bipartisan support for it. And then the pandemic came along and just torpedoed everything. This is September the 1st, 2019. The title says it all. After shootings, Trump fixed on mental institutions. And he's posing there with the survivors of the Parkland, Florida school shooting that killed 17. He's praying with them. I mean, the man's good at photo ops. So this board, which was created in 1968 to get people out of state hospitals and help them live in the community, you need to prepare for a future where we're going to see little talk about people living productive lives and a lot more talk about what do we do with these mentally ill, disturbed people? How can we lock them up before they go out and kill somebody? And just bear in mind when Donald Trump talks about mental illness, nothing good can come of it. He addresses crowds and calls them sickos and psychos, and they applaud because he's telling them exactly what they want to hear. We don't have a gun problem. We have a mental health problem. If we just locked up the bad people, then we can have all the guns that we wanted. So this board needs to prepare for a future in this presidential election year where we're going to hear a lot about locking up people with mental illness. That's my opinion.
Are there any other comments? I do want to say that Yes, sir.
Well, I'd just like to invite everybody to a town hall listening session. It'll be on Tuesday, June 25th. It'll be in collaboration with the Mental Health Recovery Services Board and the Ohio Citizen Advocates for Addiction Recovery. I have some flyers over here. This town hall is to get some information for people who are in recovery from substance abuse. And it will be held at the Mott Library on Dorr Street, Tuesday, June 25th,
All right.
5 to 6.
Thank you. Thank you. I do want to make two other observations. First of all, remember we will not meet in July, and this is Jim Stingel's last meeting with us, and David Knoll.
No,
We're not
that's
gonna
what
have
Speak for yourself.
We want to thank him for his many years of service, even serving as former board chair, and he is a staple here for the Mental Health Board. But I just found out today he's not leaving town. He just will not be serving on the board, but he'll be serving with us in other capacities. So Jim, we want to thank you, as well as David. And then Nima Bell and also Calvin. We want to thank you for your services, but hopefully two of you will not be going anywhere. All right, are there any other comments? Yes.
I do want to mention that the open house for Danny's place was absolutely marvelous. I could not believe how many people showed up. The place was packed and it was freezing. So for people to stay that long, it was over an hour and a half. And it was a great presentation. People were ecstatic. I happened to put it on my Facebook, what a great day, and I put about Danny's place, and I got a lot of responses from people that didn't even know anything about it, just people in the community. So I just want to say kudos to everybody that has anything to do with it, and it is a great day.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
I
The
told
turnout.
Scott afterwards that the staff did a tremendous job of planning and it was well executed.
Congratulations to the staff, because they really it showed. It ran smooth, just smooth as silk. It was just phenomenal.
Thank God for the tent.
It was
Yes.
cold.
Yes.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold. It was cold, but it did. And I just want to thank you, Jim. Your mentorship to several of us board members over the years that you've been here and leading the way and so many of our projects. You've left very big shoes for us to fill. And just thank you, because you changed the lives of many people here in Lucas County.
Thank you, Senator.
And I'll
I'd
miss you
really like to
because
thank all of you.
Yes.
This has been a very interesting 8 years. It's been a very enjoyable, very challenging 8 years. I believe that we're in much better shape and much better circumstance, having now just passed this levy, as we move into the future. I've been blessed to be able to work and lead with a group of people that I think the world of. Where we are with Danny's Place going forward, where we are with a lot of the other endeavors and challenges that we've had. I had long conversations with Scott about whether I was going to do this for another 4 years or not. I have a lot of other things I do in the community, but one thing that I will not stop doing is advocating for people with mental health and substance abuse issues. I will remain involved with the Citizens for Mental Health PAC. I will be involved in fundraising for Danny's Place. I will be involved with NAMI. I'm not going anywhere in terms of the advocacy work that I do. But I'm someone who believes and has most of the time, and I've been doing community work in this town for 40 plus years. Turnover is a good thing. New blood is a good thing. New leadership is a good thing. And I look around this room and I see talent, commitment, passion for people with mental health issues. And I feel very good about stepping away because this board's in very good hands. So thank you all very much. It's been a wonderful time to be able to work with all of you and to move us all forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. With that, meeting adjourned.
Oh,